This video is sponsored by Wingfox. Until the end of this video, you will have a complete understanding of how to create an advanced rig for almost anything in Blender. Okay, so here's our scene. So this is just a CC0 human. By the way, if you want the project file, you can get it on my Gumroad page, link is in the description. And you can also support me to make more videos. So right now, as you can see, our character is not in a T pose. So usually a T pose looks like this. And rigging a character in a T pose is way simpler than in a idle position. But for the sake of this tutorial, I will do the hard work in case some of you don't have a character in a T pose. So first of all, let's apply our character scale, which is super important, or you will run into artifacts in the future. Now to create our skeleton, let's add in an armature. You can also use a human meta rig, but I often ran into issues with it. And I will place it on the pelvis. Now let's go to object data properties, and in the viewport display, let's check in front. Now you can easily see the armature from anywhere. Now let's go to edit mode, and naming is super important while rigging. So let's name it as pelvis. And now place your cursor near the viewport border until the cursor turns into arrows, and right click there and choose vertical split. And now let's split our viewports into two halves. Now select the joint on the pelvis bone and let's extrude it upwards, and let's name this bone as spine. And now let's keep on extruding the spine until the neck. Now let's extrude again, and I'll call it as neck. Now I will extrude it again, and I will rename this one as head. Now it's time to extrude the arms. So let's do one side first. So let's extrude it on the x-axis. So I will call it as arm.l, and now keep on extruding. This .l is a Blender naming convention which is very helpful for symmetrizing the armature, which you will see in a few moments. Okay, so now for the fingers, I will extrude one more time. And now let's create the thumb. So let's extrude it, and I will name it as thumb.l. And as you can see, I am naming them accordingly. Okay, so now let's create our legs. So let's select the joint from the pelvis and extrude it on the x-axis and place them accordingly, so the hips will be a bit backwards. So it's pretty much as same as the arms, but make sure the placement of the knees, it should face in the front direction, or you will face issues during the IK. I think our armature is almost done, so you can also add a bone to the jaw of your character if you want. Also, after creating the legs, parent the legs to the pelvis by selecting the legs first and then selecting the pelvis, and then press Ctrl P and select keep offset. Now in edit mode, press A to select all and go to armature and then select symmetrize. Now if you have done everything correctly, you can see all the .l has changed to .r. Now let's go to object mode. Now let's parent our mesh to our skeleton. So first select the mesh, and then while holding shift, select the skeleton. Now press Ctrl P and select with automatic weights. Now let's select our armature and let's go to pose mode. Now you can see you can select the bones and rotate them to pose your character. I like to rig it so good that I won't face issues in the weight painting. But some of you might be facing issues of stretching, so let's go to weight painting. So let's select our mesh and let's go to weight paint and select the vertex group of the bone. Here as you can see, the red portion represents the most influence, the yellow represents the medium influence, The green represents very less influence and the blue means there is no influence. So let's say I don't want this chest portion to deform with the arms. So let's select the subtract brush and let's erase it from there. Now let's go to pose mode and let's try to move our arm. Now as you can see, the chest is not deforming with the arm. So now you might have guessed that creating a great rig requires great learning. And speaking of learning, on Wingfox you can find many courses that can help you learn. Wingfox is a great place to learn professional skills and they have professional instructors and lecturers from around the world. They are not only our sponsors but I am their user too. Wingfox provides courses related to CG, VFX, game art, IT and software, graphic design, animation, concept design and environment design. You can also filter courses by your level, that is beginner, intermediate or expert, and by language and by price. You can find many Blender courses here from professional artists. The one I like very much is this cinematic animation workflow. This course is from Saim Bugaria. He will teach you on how to create cinematic and photorealistic animation, and this is best for those Blender users who have a bit of knowledge in Blender and want to learn to a greater height. This course will cover modeling, texturing, lighting, rendering and even high level post-production in After Effects. Link of the course in the video description. So hope you are excited, so get ready to learn with Wingfox. So after you have done some wet painting, let's add the IK to the bones. So IK means inverse kinematics. So in edit mode, let's duplicate the foot bone and let's press Alt P to remove the parent. Now I will place it somewhere near the heel and let's rename it as leg.l.ik, and let's duplicate it again and place it in front of the knee, and this will be our pole target. So let's rename it as leg.l.pt. And now let's go to pose mode and let's select the bone from which the influence will start. So for me it is the shin bone. So let's go to IK constraints and here let's add the target. So let's select the IK constraint here and I select the target and the pole target to our armature. Now in the bone let's type in IK and select the bone which is the one near the heels. Now in the pole target let's type in PT. PT is the one which is near the knees. Now I will set the chain length to 1, 2, okay, so 2, or otherwise it will affect the whole body. If the leg might have rotated the wrong way, you can always change the rotation here. And now let's select the heel bone and let's try to move it upwards. Now as you can see, the knees are bending with our IK bone. Now select the bone near the knees and move it on the left and right side, so this will be the direction of the knees. Now you can repeat the same process for the other leg. Okay, so I have also done the IK for the arms also, and I have decided to add a pole target near the elbow. It's not necessary for the arms, but just to show that it can be done anywhere. Okay, so now our rig is done, but everything is very hard to select and messy. So let's add in a circle and now let's scale it down and apply its scale. And now let's go to pose mode and let's select a bone and then go to bone properties and under custom object select the circle. Now as you can see, you can control the bone with the circle shape, which is more easier. So I have added circle to the normal bones and cubes to the IK, and if you want to assign colors to them, then go to bone group, add in a bone group and select some bones and then select the bone group and hit assign, and then you can add in color from here. So that's it. Now you can tweak your bone and create some awesome animation. So that's it guys. If you want to transfer your high poly details to low poly object, then you can check out this video. Bye bye.